Hey, I'm Tim McMahon, host of 401 Nosh, doing a little different interview today. As you can see, I have my computer here. I'm at Paco's at the park. I'm doing a Zoom interview with Jake Hanus. He's in South Korea. Jake, how's it going?
It's going great.
It's 10 a.m. here. What time is it where you are?
It's 11 p.m.
Okay, so a little bit later. Completely different time zones, completely different parts of the day. We're talking to you because you are from Toledo, but you are taking what you learned here, which is hot dogs, into South Korea. Tell me a little bit about your pop-up business, Dogma Hot Dogs.
Dogma Hot Dogs is basically just, I'm trying to take hot dogs in Korea and level them up because it is in my blood. It is the thing that I love the most to eat. It is comfort food, and it's what I want to bring to this country that isn't here yet. I don't think so anyways.
We have Jake, the hot dog maestro, with these Dogma Hot Dogs. Everybody loves your sausages, bro.
So you're from Toledo originally, correct?
Born and raised, lived in Toledo from birth to high school. So yeah, absolutely, Toledo.
Tell me a little bit about your journey that led you, because I mean, opposite ends of the world, that led you from here to Korea.
Well, first of all, I want to make it clear, I have come full circle to loving Toledo. But after 18 years in Toledo, I wanted to get out. I wanted to see something different. I wanted to live my own life. And so I went to school in New York for 4 years, and then eventually made my way here to teach English, and ended up starting a hot dog business because mostly because I miss the flavor of home. I do think that there's something about Toledo hot dogs or the taste of Toledo that drove me to learn more and be able to replicate that.
A lot of people my age did similar things. You know, they move away. You didn't come back, but you did come back in a way because you are taking what you love about the Glass City, taking it to a new place. Also taking your hat too, I see, your storm hat, and taking that there as well. And like you said, finding your way back, but you're not really here. So talk about what that was like, sort of the cultural differences and bringing something that's such a staple of Toledo to an entirely different country.
Once I started teaching myself how to cook, I gained, I think, a little bit of a desire to do it professionally. So I took that desire and started applying it through house parties or going to barbecues, and now pop-ups and making food that I really wanted to eat. I figured out I can make sauerkraut myself, so I learned how to make sauerkraut. And the same thing goes with like the chili sauce that I put on my hot dogs, which is, I won't say an authentic taste, but in my memory, I recreated what I thought a chili sauce on a hot dog should taste like, just out of desperation of wanting to eat that food, you know? And especially during the pandemic, I couldn't go home for almost 4 years. I couldn't go back to Toledo. So it just so happened that I made a chili sauce for a hot dog, and then realized, hey, I think Korean people and other immigrants or expats in Korea could enjoy that too. And the only other missing ingredient was, I think, good sausages, good hot dogs. That doesn't exist in Korea. They have sausages, and there are other people doing like chorizo and other things, other expats doing that, but nobody was doing a good hot dog like maybe like Tony Paco's does, like a Hungarian hot dog. So I learned how to make sausages. I also had other recipes I wanted to try out, and I came up with a concept, which is Dogma. And essentially what that is just, I will never call my hot dog a coney dog or, for example, the slaw dog with chili. I wouldn't call it a North Carolina dog or anything other than what it is. It is a coleslaw with chili that I made that comes from my memory, and I actually think because of that distance from actually the experience of itself, I wasn't able to copy it. I was able to recreate it, not authentically, but romantically, if you know what I mean. It's absolutely my memory recreating a flavor.
You're paying tribute to, Pacos or Rudy's or the dogs that you grew up on. What's the response like for people over there that have never experienced this type of Toledo-style hot dog, or maybe even hot dog in general?
Well, first of all, a lot of my customers, the majority, I would say, have been foreigners. And, I had one person come up to me afterwards that ate the chili dog, which is, aside from the slaw dog, one of my favorites, which is based on like Pacos and Rudy's and Nettie's. And he took a bite of it and he looked at me as I was like preparing and in that rush of the weeds. And he looked at me and he just gave me a nod. And then I knew, I was just like, okay, I think I hit that sacred note, if you will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then you, like the sauerkraut dog, I feel like that is just bringing so much of this, the Midwest to Korea. But you also bring in like kimchi dogs too. You really mix it up with mixing different cultures and flavors. How much fun is it to like taste test? And do you have people that you trust that are like, hey, tell me if this is good or tell me if this is, this is crap?
For the bulk of the time that I was doing my research and development, it was really my wife, who's Korean, and her family.
Yeah.
So I had confidence because the kimchi dog especially, I actually kind of imagined that dog very early on when I got to Korea. When I was craving a hot dog, I was just like, well, kimchi's kind of like sauerkraut. Mm-hmm. And I say kind of, it's very different. But it is a lacto fermentation.
Yeah.
That's probably where we can say we draw the line. And after I think 10 or 11 years, I kind of worked out a process to where I've gotten this kimchi dog that I now actually realize was something more than it was in the beginning. It wasn't just a replacement for sauerkraut. It was a version of Korean barbecue, meaning we do like fried kimchi, where you actually can put the kimchi on the grill and then you eat that with like pork belly. And it worked. I actually had an American be like this, or I've had a couple Americans be like, this reminds me of my first time eating Korean barbecue when I first arrived here, and it's amazing. And then I had an older Korean man tell me that, are you Korean? And he was joking, obviously. I don't think he knew, he had eyesight, but he was just like, are you Korean? Because this is a Korean tasting dog.
The bad part about interviewing you through Zoom is I want to try these things, and I looked at your Instagram last night too, and I was just getting hungry. Make your way back here too, please, sometime, because I want to try this. Or I'll fly out and visit you. Maybe that's a better idea. Maybe I
think that'll probably be easiest for me, considering transferring. I don't know what the deal with transferring meat over borders.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that might not be the best. We'd lose something in the travel. What's it like just every day making hot dogs?
It sounds weird. I do think I get this from my mom. She will take the helm of a party or a ship and cook just to see people eat. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, that's the most important part. I mean, this is bad business. I would do it for free, just to make food for people and to see people enjoy that food. So for me, making food is personal first, business second.
We're in the middle of a classic July 4th tradition of a hot dog eating contest, and we have one very good competitive eater beating the clock. Here she goes, Mary. She's on to her last hot dog. It's the final stretch in a long, long marathon.
I can't speak on behalf of like all of Northwest Ohio and Toledo, but it's really cool to see, a resident from here go on to do great things and succeed, but still hold on to that character and kind of the love of food and just who they were here and take it somewhere else. It's really neat to see that.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I do carry all of it everywhere. Seriously, I only got one can, so if you hit up the owner of Tony Paco's, like pretend I'm Corporal Klinger in MASH and tell him to send me some Sweet Hots and some more cans of this, because I can only bring one home this last trip, so I need more.
You know, the MASH ties obviously to Korea. That it's kind of like a coincidence that, well, here you are going back over there and taking Paco's. I mean, obviously that was a television series that was filmed in Los Angeles, but here you are in real life doing that. You're like a modern day Jamie Farr. I'm just building you up now. Is that okay?
And I wear less dresses. I'm not saying I haven't worn a dress, but I wear less of them. But I definitely, like I said though, instead of just whining about it to BJ and Hawkeye, I just make my own hot dog sauce.